If you have ever watched the show Skins, UK edition, you know that this show is basically a controversial rotating door of teenage decisions, messy hookups, betrayals, wild teenage antics. Heavy on the crime.
The dope's gone.
Bro, I think the dope is the least of your worries. I personally had no business watching this show as a kid. I don't know. I was like, I came to mind 8.
God, please, no!
I hope I wasn't 8. God, I hope I wasn't 8, but who knows? I checked, I was not 8, but I was 10 or 12, so a close second. Fair warning, don't look for any redeeming qualities in anyone in this show, because you won't find any. Not one. Even the adults in this show were terrible people, just awful. Nobody is guilt-free in this show. They all lie, they all cheat, they all use each and every one of each other out of the guise of fun and power or freedom, whatever the case may be. It's for selfish gain. But even in this cast of broken people, there is one single person that rises above and climbs above the hurdle of terrible people to get to that tippity top spot. Tony Stonem. Played by none other than Nicholas Hoult. But in this show, he is not worried about finding the warmest body, nor does he have to worry about his wife being stolen by a blood sucker deprived of blood for years. No, in this show, he plays a teen, a selfish teen, but he's not just any selfish teen. He's also a manipulator.
Bruh.
Possibly a sociopath who treats people like toys. And what makes it worse is the show tries to redeem him.
Why?
Like he deserves redemption. This is not a Zuko redemption, okay? He does not need it. He did not deserve it, nor do we see a genuine change in his character that feels good. Not many can do the redemption arc, not many, but they, in Skins, definitely do not do it well. So, who is Tony? Tony is the golden boy. He's hot, clever, charismatic, you know the type. Yes, I did find him cute. And yes, arguably, he was one of my favorite characters. Did that lead to trauma in my relationships? Possibly. Tony was the ringleader in his friend group. Everybody wanted to be around him for some reason, and some even wanted to be him, his best friend, Sid.
Someday, I'll be like Tony.
No, I can think of nothing worse than being you!
That is, until they realize he's a narcissist in a school uniform. But we move from the naked couple on his bed sheets, to him flexing in the mirror. You know from frame 1 that Tony is obsessed with sex and himself. He's spoiled, bored, and loves to stir the pot. He orchestrated his best friend Sid to lose his virginity out of his own accord because his friend did not ask for this. His friend did not ask. He hooks up with plenty of people, but mainly Abigail, which he does deliberately in the face of his girlfriend Michelle. And he makes a joke out of one of his friends' sexuality by experimenting with him because he wanted to try it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
To see if he was interested, just for fun. Funsies. This guy thrives on pushing boundaries, all for his own amusement. And it doesn't matter who gets hurt in the process, or who he scars, who he burns. None of that matters to him, as long as he can get his shits and giggles. It's all a game, right? He doesn't do these things because he wants love, or even sex, which is what he seemingly is obsessed with. It's because he wants power over people. And yeah, I thought he was cute as a kid. I was a child. But that's the point. His looks are his currency. It's how he gets by. It's how he gets things handed to him. He knows that if he hurts someone, he could just smile at them, bat his lashes, and they'll crawl back regardless. That's what makes this character the most dangerous in all of, I think, television. Maybe that's going too far. But he's definitely up there. Deep break. So have you heard all that and you're still wondering, why is Tony bad? Well, let me tell you where he crossed the line in major plot points. Point 1, Sid. He actively ruined Sid's life more than once just for fun. He makes Sid the butt of every joke and test he runs, usually on Sid. Some fans even argue that Sid and Tony's best friendship is the real tragedy of all of season 1 and season 2, because Sid always forgives him no matter what he does. He just keeps forgiving him. And they tried to redeem that friendship by having Tony buy a ticket to New York for Sid to go find the girl of his dreams. We all know, or we should know, that Cassie should not have been the girl of his dreams. They did not need anything to do with each other. From the start of how they even began was a train wreck. And honestly, Cassie should sue all of them.
Damn.
Alright. Who's stupid enough to fuck Sid?
Cassie?
Alright, she'll do. We're gonna need a lot of drugs.
It was sick. Quite literally, it was sick. In the first episode, we see Tony calling up all of their friends and telling them, hey, my best friend Sid, he's a virgin, and we need to help him lose that virginity. Just telling his business to everybody.
So anyway, it's not that much to ask, Nips. Sid's almost 17. He's got to get laid before his birthday, otherwise he can't be my friend, obviously.
What the are you talking about, Tim?
But that's not the worst of what he did to Sid. The worst of what he did to Sid was he put his friend in debt. Let me tell you how. He decides that they have to crash a party, and the only way to get Sid to lose his virginity, you may think, oh, he needs to find a nice girl, and maybe they could get in a relationship, or maybe they could have some fling, and they just hook up naturally. Or maybe they teach Sid ways to flirt, because obviously he's a little socially awkward. He doesn't know how to flirt. Okay, teach him. You're charismatic, Tony. You're smart. You are one with the ladies. We know, so teach him. No, he doesn't do any of that. That would be a waste of his time. That would be a good use of his time, but he doesn't want to do that. What he would rather do
is trick women.
We go to the party, and we get a girl catastrophically spliffed up. In her confused state, she comes to believe, however momentarily, that you're attractive enough to shag. Who's a lucky girl then?
get them under the influence until they are unable to consent to any sexual intercourse. Silly women. That's how Tony thinks. They'll be fooled into sleeping with Sid, because no one would want to sleep with Sid on their own accord. No, that's crazy. He's gross. This is how his friends talk to him. And we're going to have a Sid episode. We feel bad for him. We could feel empathy, but we'd also know that he is also a piece of shit. And we can only give empathy so far. But in this episode, we're focusing on Tony, so sorry, Sid. He sends Sid to go get the weed from a drug dealer. I know weed isn't that serious of a drug to some. Weed is as regular as drinking alcohol at this point to some people, and I get it. But at this time, this was early 2000s and in the UK, so things were a little bit different. Basically, Sid is sent to a drug house by Tony, and he sent him with no money. I don't know how they expected to get weed. I don't know what they were thinking. Sid ends up miraculously getting the weed, but he has to sell all of it that night, or he owes the drug dealer. Guess what happens?
The dope's gone.
The girl for Sid that they were gonna use as his victim, because let's call it what it is, that's the victim. Their victim was this girl named Cassie, who just got out of the mental hospital. She is not mentally well at this moment. Needless to say, Cassie almost overdoses, and the gang has to rush her to the hospital because they think this girl is gonna die or she's dead. I don't know what they were thinking. Honestly, it sounded like they thought she was dead at one point and they were just gonna throw her on the side of the road, because like I said, these teenagers are terrible people. No redeeming qualities, y'all. No redeeming qualities. But she wakes up and the crew, for some reason, stops near a lake, and then somehow they're rolling and tussling in the car, and the car goes into the lake with all of the weed. Michelle, she was cheated on, abused, manipulated, all the works. I'm not gonna kick a girl when she's down. We'll say that for her episode. The one thing I will say is that Michelle was 100% without a doubt a pick-me girl. It doesn't excuse Tony's behavior in the slightest, but it is worth mentioning how Tony got away with so much of the abuse and just blatant manipulation over countless women. Tony is the worst to Michelle. The way he cheats on her with Abigail is he gets this idea in his head that he wants to give Sid Michelle. He comes up with his own diabolical plan to make Michelle break up with him. He was already cheating on her at this point. He invites Michelle and Sid to a recital that he has been working on. While he's on stage singing la-di-da-ding with the choir, and Abigail and him are the two main singers here, he kisses her right there in front of everybody.
Oh my God.
In front of Michelle and the audience and Sid, but yet still no one tells her until she finds out for herself. Okay, good friends all of them are. Any one of them could have been honest with her. at any moment. And of course, Michelle confronts him after this. And this part, I was actually pretty happy for Michelle because finally, girl, you're standing on business. But it doesn't last for long because, yes, she goes back with him. We move. He humiliates her. She's used to this, or she should be.
Damn.
Michelle is constantly being humiliated by him over and over. He makes jokes he knows she doesn't like.
Hi, Nips.
Stop calling me Nips, Tony.
It's a funny name.
But then Maxie comes along, and they're all on this school trip. And for some reason, Tony, he wants to get with Maxie. He's still with Michelle at this point. She took him back, so you'd think he'd be grateful? No, he's not. He doesn't care. He still wants to have his fun because he knows he can. He knows she'll come back.
She'll come back.
He doesn't reciprocate to Maxie confiding in him as a friend. No, he wants...
Shall I give you a head? I'll cheer you up.
Oh my God!
It's actually comical. It's comical because he knows Maxie wants something real, but he uses his friend's sexuality as a science project. He messes with Maxie under the guise of experimenting, but he knows how vulnerable Maxie is. Some fans see this as queer baiting, which I really can't argue with. It probably is queer baiting because what was that? I'm just grateful that Maxie said this to him.
Tony, we finally found something you're not actually good at.
He sent Tony on his way. He said, Tony, you found something you ain't good at. But not only does this show how little Tony cares about his friendships, but also Michelle, because Michelle was laying in the bed when all of this was happening. She saw it, but she didn't want to expose it just yet. She waits. She waited to see if Tony would tell her. I don't know why. I don't know what she thought she saw in him, but there's not an ounce of good in any of these characters, Michelle. Neither in you. But we move. The whole episode of Michelle finding out about this was just... It was good because we finally get to see Tony get a little bit of what he deserves.
Okay.
You dirty little f***er! I never want to see your tiny twatty ever again!
What's up, Nips?
Loved seeing that. I love a good deck in the face when it's very much well deserved. Then we see him get it from Sid.
Look around, Sydney. Fuck all ever happens in this shitty little town. You got to improvise, no matter who you hurt. So I messed around with Maxie a bit. So what? He was bored, I was bored, Michelle was bored, and now we're not. And she's gonna feel so good when she gets me back. You sure? Don't be such a dildo, Sid. Of course she will. It is my lady, oh it is my love, oh that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. You see, Sydney? Now you're getting it.
Finally, Sid stands up for himself, but mainly Michelle. So yeah, I feel like in that moment, Tony actually got what he deserved. He doesn't need to be with Michelle. And if they just left it at that point, great. I would have been happy with that. But it's because of the fact that Tony never has to own up to any of this. He never really takes accountability. He goes through some heavy trauma, but yet that doesn't excuse how shitty and terrible of a person he truly is, because I don't believe he changed. Lots of fans argue that the bus accident was karma, but he didn't actually grow from it. He was just forced to rely on others when he was lost or powerless. Some say season 2 tries too hard to make you feel bad for him without showing him owning up for anything that he did, which is true. We don't see him own up for anything, really. Not really. Tony's whole arc teaches us that if you keep excusing monsters because they're pretty to look at, that one's on me, y'all, then you can't be surprised when they fuck you over time and time again. Befriend a snake and get bitten. Watching shows like Skins as an adult was both nostalgic and troubling. And some of the scenes were downright diabolical. And some of the scenes are so questionable that the writers and the showrunners need to be in jail. I mean, for this scene alone.
I'd still give you one. Totally. He's welfare. Yeah, Queenie? Yeah, he's bar. I want to give Maxie one. You can't. He's homosexual.
Electric chair.
So my honest question to you, do you think he deserved a redemption after everything you heard? Me personally, no, but you knew that. Yes, what he went through was traumatic. Yes, what he went through was understandably, rightfully troubling. But using that as a scapegoat because they couldn't write well-liked character out of this shithole, writers, I would not forgive you for that one. He needed to face the people he used like puppets. He needed to apologize to each and every one of them. He needed to hear the word no and have it stick for him. But instead, the group just continued to enable him, and instead, when they couldn't enable his wrongdoings, they pitied him.
You bunching your fists at me, Sid?
And let's not forget, this is Tony just before his accident. This was his mentality.
You're always fucking useless. Take Michelle. I worked fucking hard to get a shagging opportunity for you, and then you went pussy.
No,
Instead, she ends up with this Josh guy, complete fucking knob, who I have to sort. So that's your fault too, you know that?
I saw her. What did you do?
Put naked pictures of Abigail on his phone. Made sure Michelle could see him. Made sure everyone could see him. It's quite funny.
Funny? That's sick. His sister, why did you do that? You know what, Tony? Sometimes I don't know why we're friends anymore.
It's weird, isn't it? I'm from Mars, you're from Venus. I do things, you worry about them. I sleep with girls, you persuade them to attempt suicide. Ow! I said a punch, not a bitch slap. Ugh. I can't believe you slapped me. It's hilarious. You better not be crying.
I'm not crying because you punched me.
You're crying for the kids in Africa.
You know I used to so look up to you, don't you?
Of course I did. You're at home every night wanking your brains out. Oh, someday I'll be like Tony. Someday I'll be like Tony.
And now I can think of nothing worse than being you! You've always been selfish. I always understood that. You did things because you wanted something, fine. Makes sense. But now you do things because you can! You fuck with people. And I don't get why. You've got no friends! No girlfriend. Only your parents left. Not even Effie is answering your calls. You're right. She is clever.
Damn! Tony Stonem didn't deserve his redemption, but he does deserve to be remembered as the blueprint for every manipulative bad boy we ever fell for, ever continue to fall for, and he should be represented as a lesson to run from these type of men. Please run. Ooh, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. My dog's looking at me in the corner.